into the show, everyone. This is Race Central Unplugged, episode 6. I'm your host, Sydney Cora, right next to also your other host, I guess you could say co-host, longtime motor racing insider, Kurt Hansen. Kurt, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm liking the Sub-Zero Ice Station Zebra look, Sid.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, I don't know when everyone is going to be watching this, but it's like record-breaking temperature changes. I guess the temperature dropped 30 degrees within an hour yesterday.
70. And I felt it. It was unbelievable. I went in to get a little, final Christmas stuff done. I walked in. I had just a nice little polo outfit, jogging suit, as I call it, my inactive wear. And I came out, and within just a few minutes of walking to the car, I was cold. And I grew up in Lake Tahoe, California. I was a ski racer. I've raced in this Sub-Zero stuff, but that was a long time ago. And driving is not a big deal to me. I had, all these transplants in Colorado, and I'm from California. And everybody goes, "Oh, Californians." Well, no, but it's not that big a deal. You got to use your head. But I must say, ran some errands today, and I prefer, even Phoenix. I was there 2 weeks ago emceeing my buddy's Limb of Dreams Foundation dinner, and it was in the 50s. So, and this in the 40s, which in Phoenix, people are probably putting snow chains on. But it's a little frosty.
Well, yeah, anyone who's watching this who doesn't already know, we are coming to you live from Denver, Colorado. So if you're from Denver, if you're from anywhere else, let us know. But you probably feel our pain. Regardless, let's just jump right into the show. What do you say?
Gotcha. Because we got a quick one tonight. First of all, got to get it away. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever your thing is. Have a very merry and safe Christmas and New Year's. And because 20 years plus doing this, and now Syd the Kid, our star here on the podcast and the great producer of my ESPN radio show, we can't do what we do without all the support that we get from our radio listeners, our TV viewers, our podcast viewers, so on and so on. First of all to you and to Sid, thanks so much for joining us, and be safe. Have a happy holiday.
Yes. Happy holidays, everyone, from the Race Central show. Now, with that said, happy holidays, New Year's, new things going on in NASCAR, Jimmy Johnson returning. Tell us more about that.
By the way, where's that green goo you're drinking, your vegan thing?
Oh, the matcha?
Show the world that. Oh, God. Okay.
This is matcha tea.
We're going to get you eating steak in 2023. So here's the... You see what she eats during the radio show on Friday.
Hey, maybe we should start consuming more green things, Kurt. Maybe you'd feel better.
Terrifying. Anyway, so Jimmy Johnson wraps up. What was an illustrious NASCAR career. Then he goes to IndyCar. And I really thought he would do a lot better. I mean, great drivers are great drivers, but he had a struggle. He was starting to get better towards the end. He had a pretty good run in the Indy 500 last year, but not.
That is.
Well, that's a really good question, and I really don't know because I'm not Jimmy Johnson. I'm not in his head, but I think it's hard. I mean, you're going from a 4,000-pound slug, and even he didn't get a chance to drive the next-gen car. But that's a part of my topic. So it's a tough transition. IndyCar is a whole different deal. But beside the point, he did his IndyCar deal. He has now gone to petty GMS, much to Ganassi's chagrin, because Carvana was a Jimmy Johnson sponsor, not a Ganassi sponsor. So Jimmy takes the millions of dollars that Carvana was pitching in for him to do that deal, and that goes to petty GMS. I'm really excited for this, though. This is one of the things I'm really excited for in 2023, because this guy hasn't forgotten how to drive. He will be racing in the 24 hours at Daytona, the Rolex 24, twice around the clock, as I call it. He's a very good, driver in sports cars, and I'm excited to see Jimmy at the Rolex 24, which when people watch this, well, if they're watching it this week, of course, they're still a month away. But long story short, I'm excited for that. That's one of the stories that I'm excited to follow and talk about on Race Central TV and radio in 2023, because in the big picture, Jimmy will do, he's unretiring from NASCAR, let's put it that way.
Right.
And he's going to do some select races with Petty GMS, which I want to see how he performs in the next gen car, because it's a whole new car, it's a whole new deal. And can Jimmy step right back on to the NASCAR scene and be, as dominant as he was for 7 times? Probably not, but I'm excited to see him back in NASCAR this year, or next year, in a limited schedule. But I'm also really excited to see, because I think what he's going to do, he'll do Rolex 24. He'll be at the Aurora for the 24. So in just a few weeks, we'll see how that's working out for him. Then select races, he'll probably do the Daytona 500. But then, which is, a month after the Rolex 24. And then I believe he's going to do the 24 Hours at Le Mans, which has always been something that's been on his bucket list. So hopefully Jimmy will check that off. And I'm excited to see that. I've always been a big Jimmy Johnson fan. He's a great guy. He's a super athlete. I mean, this guy looks like, and I'm not getting weird here, but,
hey, it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, he takes his shirt off and he looks like, these janky earbuds of mine. Man, I got to step up the program here. But the guy looks like, but he runs marathons. He's a super cyclist. He trains his ass off. And yeah.
Okay, I was going to ask you something. How old is he?
Oh.
Do you know? Well, okay, he's 47.
40s? Yeah.
47.
I was going to say 46, 47 years old. So, I mean, my God. I mean, the other 10 or so years he'll be getting, Medicaid. But I don't think he'll be getting any Social Security, because he's worth tens of hundreds of millions of dollars. But yeah, but he, like me, I'm 64 and I look like I'm 44, right, Sid? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Hey, you know what? 45 is the new 35. But I got a quick question for you. Look, we're running out of time here on this topic.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But let me ask you one thing. Can you tell me a little bit about how age affects a NASCAR driver? If it does at all, and how so? And is there anything, has the physicality, it's with the next gen car, is it harder to drive? Is it more physically grueling for the next gen car, or is it no difference at all? Same thing? Like,
I've never really talked to the fellows about that in depth. It is a completely different platform. The car is a lot different. It drives differently. It handles differently. It's a whole new world. So, with all the technology that's gone in the next gen car, I got to believe it's probably a little easier to drive, but it's a whole new world, which could make it harder to undo what you've been doing maybe for a decade in NASCAR with the old car,
right,
to the new car. So when I can tell you as a former professional driver, someone that still drives a lot at a high level, learning and having to relearn or unlearn what you've done for a long time can add a lot more stress, because it's all new. It's a completely different world. So, the stress level, when you look at these guys, they have to be athletes. I mean, you got 3.5 hours of racing. You're going 150, 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. It's 150 to 175 degrees inside the car. There is no timeout unless there's a red flag stoppage, but that is even worse because you're in the car. It gets hotter. Your blood pressure goes up. Your heart rate definitely comes down. But in an average NASCAR driver, their heart rate is at 150, 160 beats for 3.5 hours. So think about that. If you're doing cardio, get on your Peloton or whatever fancy toy all you people have, and do that for 3 hours and turn the heater on so it's 150. And by the way, there's people going by you in any particular direction at any one time, sometimes not always the same direction. It's very grueling because your stress level is operating at the super peak. I forgot to put my hat on. I brought my hat specially for you because I'm having a bad hair day.
Whoa.
So my Furniture Road Championship hat from 2017. But there are so many components that people don't understand about driving a race car. You better have your act together, have your shit together, because this is a podcast. because it's grueling. Does it affect older drivers? Absolutely, because you need to be in better shape. Because once the hard drive gets overcooked, like get your CPU overcooked, you lose concentration, you lose focus, and that's when really, really bad things happen. So, not to get into all that, but I can tell you from experience, you better have had your Wheaties and stay to the Holiday Inn Express and get your shit together. It's going to be 3 hours of grueling physical, mental stress, the whole deal. To drive the car. So I'm excited to see Jimmy get back. I think physically he's just fine. I don't think that the IndyCar experience was not good because he's forgotten how to drive or overcooked his CPU. It was just, it's a lot. It's an awful lot. Okay.
Well, all right. Anyways, great insight. Everyone stay tuned. That's going to do it for our first segment. But, of course, we'll be talking more motorsports news, especially we'll hit on World of Outlaws and then IMSA later on in the show. So stay tuned after this short break. Again, this is Race Central Unplugged with Sydney Cora and Kurt Hansen. We'll see you in a second. All right, everyone, welcome back into Race Central Unplugged. We're not going to waste any time here and just get right into our topics. Kurt, World of Outlaws news, what's going on there?
Well, so it's a grueling season. The World of Outlaws, and I'm a huge Outlaw fan, concluded in Charlotte just a month or so ago, and it's truly amazing, especially when you talk about athletes, because these guys just wrapped up, if numbers serve me correct, a 74 race season in their 47th a year of World of Outlaw drive. So, I'm dyslexic, but I believe it was 74 races and it was their 47th year. And we saw the big cat Brad Sweet get his 4th championship. Donnie Schatz, a great resurgence towards the end of the year. He moved up from like 7th or 8th in the championship, I believe, to I think it was 4th. Behind Carson Macedo, the Californian. I always have to get that in there. But David Gravel was, a pebble away from getting a championship. It'll be interesting. It is such a long, grueling season, and we're talking about fitness and training and stuff. And Brad Sweet didn't have that many wins last year, but he had an average finish of 5.8. That is almost mind-blowing. He didn't have a DNF. He completed every lap in a 74 race season, which is unbelievable. Donnie Schatz early in the season, they had that new 410 Ford Motor program that they were working on. And I spoke with Donnie, and he told me very candidly at Lakeside Speedway back in September when I was out there. World of Outlaws. Nos me. So he was frustrated. And he's made that very public. So, but he made some comments to me that I won't go into here. But Tony Short Racing seems to. Donnie even told me in Lakeside. He goes, "Hey, you want to go talk to the fellas? They're right there in the hauler." And he was not thrilled. A very inconsistent season. He did get his 11th Knoxville National win. Hallelujah. But as this thing goes on, when you look at the World Outlaw Series. Steve Kinzer, the legendary Steve Kinzer, who no longer competes in the series, 690 feature wins. Donnie got his 306th. I've read, some say 306, some say 307. I'm going to go with 306, wins. And, I don't know how much longer Donnie's going to do it, but he is certainly the closest to Steve Kinzer. And, when you look at the numbers, check that. And I said that, and I realized I was wrong to say it. Sammy Swindell. Sammy Swindell and Steve Kinzer were like the Hatfields and the McCoys for decades in sprint car racing. As soon as I said that, I knew it was wrong because Sammy's at 394, Kinzer's at 690. Schatz is at 3. This says 307, but the official World Outlaw side says 306, I believe. So we'll fake it. We'll go 306, 307. Some say tomato, some say tomato. But Sammy no longer really competes full time in the World Outlaw Series. He does a Lucas Oil Series. He did though after 50. He's been racing for 50 years. Swindell has in the World of Outlaws, and I believe He was also, here's back that number again, which was a number on my Formula Atlantic car back in the day when I raced a Champ Car Atlantic's 47. I believe he attempted his 47th Knoxville Nationals this year. It wasn't a great turnout for that, but I'm excited for this because here we go.
47.
Yeah, that's how old I am, 47.
Yeah.
The big, maybe I need to drink more of your green junk, but when you look at it, I think because Donnie still competes full-time in the World of Outlaws Series, Donnie, and that's what I meant to say in my commentary, Donnie is the closest to Kinzer because he still competes full-time in the series. Sammy Swindell does not. So Sammy Swindell is essentially the World of Outlaws. He could still add a win here or there, but it's a much different world now than when Kinzer competed. Now there's 15 cars that could win any night, and it's going to be tough. Donnie Schatz has a shots, which is what we had said when he won at Knoxville this year. But man, oh man, it's a long ways to go. But I hope Donnie gets it. I'm a huge, I love all the guys, but I must say I'm a Donnie Schatz fan.
Well,
I got 4 minutes now. My wife is looking at me. I got to get her to the beauty salon because she needs to get even more beautiful. Right, honey? Yeah, she says, yeah. And she has a orange hat like you. But anyway, so last topic. What were we talking about?
Okay, yeah. We're hybrid cars at IMSA. Give us a little background here, a little bit of history.
Again, what I'm excited for in 2023, there will be a limited number of cars in the new DP category that are hybrids. I believe 5 teams are coming. Cadillac kind of spearheaded the deal, but BMW's got a car, Porsche's got a car, and I'm tired, so I can't remember who else is there. But anyway, long and short of it is, I'm excited to see this. This is the new era of what they call, like the old days, and I applaud IMSA for kind of taking a step forward, but also taking a step back, because we used to call these the P cars back in the day, the GTP prototypes. And now we got hybrid prototypes. They look wicked fucking cool, badass as hell. And if you got enough money, you could actually buy one of last year's DP prototypes on bringatrader.com. I missed out. My last bid was $1.5 million, and some bastard beat me out. And if you believe that, I got some lakefront property with no snow on it right now in Broomfield. But
I'm looking at a picture right now.
Yeah, great. It's not the first time we've had prototypes in professional motorsports. We've had them in IMSA in the past. We've had them in Porsche Cup in Japan. We've had prototypes at the 24-hour Le Mans before with Porsche and Toyota. God, that stuff's disgusting. I'm getting older just watching you drink that. But that's not the first time that we've had prototypes. But I remember an engineer telling me, and I believe this was back in the mid-2000, like 2008, 2009. I was watching one of them test at Miller Motorsports Park. I don't know what the hell they call that place now. But and the joke was it took like 25 guys with electronics genius gurus to get the freaking car to start. It was Panos brought a prototype in that really ugly Panos race car they had back in the day, but they took it to Le Mans. But this is back when the battery technology was very new, and they were way too heavy. They got way too hot. The thing was a turd. It didn't qualify. But we're going to see. We won't see that this year. And I'm excited because the Roar of the 24 or Roar, whatever the Roar before whatever the hell they call it, the Roar before the boy. I'm having a bad dementia day. But at the Roar, because that's what I've always called it. The Roar before the 24. There we go. I've been drinking too much champagne, which you see behind me. The Roar before the 24. We'll see how the cars perform. There are supply chain issues. There's parts issues. So, there's a lot of technology going on here. This ain't a wood wash. But I'll be excited to see.
Everything's backed up in China, huh?
Whatever. God. That sounds like maybe we should be sending them some Mucilix or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
I was just going to say, so we'll be excited to see, and you and I will be talking about on the radio show, how the cars perform with the Roar before the 24, and then of course the twice around the clocker. Let's see what this is all about. But I'm super excited for 2023, Syd, and as always, you do a great job. Yeah. And I have to go to the beauty salon.
Yes. All right. Well, Kurt, go and get all prettied up because you need it. And now he's thugging it out. He's early 2000s hip hop. He's LL Cool J. And now he rides motorcycles, and he's not LL Cool J anymore. Now he looks like a murderer. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in.
I just figured out, because I see all these people with their hats backwards, and I always ask them, where do you buy those? Because I can only find the ones that face forward. And this is my Furniture Row 2017 team hat from our championship year. So, anyway. So, on that note, I'm going to go watch Sons of Anarchy, which I've been doing a lot of today. It's been too cold. And Syd, have a great holiday to all of you out there.
Yes.
We love you. Drink more green goo, and I'll see you next Friday.
Yes. All right, everyone. Happy holidays. We'll see you next time. More to look forward to. Thanks for tuning in to episode 6 of Race Central Unplugged. See ya.